Thanks for joining us today for another sound adventure sponsored by Dr. Bob's SoundSchool and the Bob Moog Foundation. I like to call today's experiment the dancing salt. Welcome back. Make sure you have your kazoo. If you have forgotten your kazoo or if you don't have a kazoo, you can use a store-bought one, but you can always go back to the first video that we released on how to make your very own kazoo with Dr. Bob's SoundSchool at-home sound experiences. Head on back to that one. But if you'll remember, when we hum, our vocal cords are going to vibrate, and the air as we push through them is going to come out in the same wiggle as your vocal cords. That same vibration or wiggle will make the air in the kazoo wiggle, which will make this membrane right here wiggle in response. There's a lot of wiggling going on. Sound wave is all about that wiggle. It's all about the vibration. And today we're going to take our homemade kazoo and you're going to actually see the wiggle as you make the salt wiggle. All right, so let's get busy. Take your kazoo. So fun. Set it aside. We're going to buzz it some more later. Grab your plastic container and a piece of plastic wrap that is a bit larger than your container. So here's your plastic wrap. I tore it off. Notice it's just enough to kind of wrap over so that you can make this a really tight, secure membrane. Just like a drum. You're going to stretch it and stretch it and stretch it so that it is just a really good solid surface. It may take someone holding it while you put the rubber band on, but you want to take the rubber band as you stretch that membrane or that plastic wrap, and then use the rubber band to kind of cinch it down so that it is nice and taut, really tight. So it's a great surface, just like a trampoline. So you're making a drum or a sympathetic surface, and it will vibrate as you use your kazoo. All right, so set this aside and take some of the salt and sprinkle some salt grains on top of your plastic wrap. Put a little salt on there. Here's a little tip. Today, I'm going to be using poppy seeds. Salt works a lot better. You can really see salt dance. All right, so grab your membrane with your salt. I'm going to use this one because I've already got it made and it's super tight and I've already got my poppy seeds on there. And grab your kazoo because we're going to send those wiggles, those sound waves through the kazoo, and the air is going to be able to transfer it to the plastic container, which will then make that plastic wrap vibrate. Get ready. Here we go. Now is the fun part. Grab your kazoos and get ready to buzz along with me. We are going to get up close and personal with our little plastic container. This is a fun experiment in itself. You can decide and figure out exactly how far you need to be away or how close you need to be to make this dance the best. Remember, they're going to vibrate in response to the vibrations you're sending out, the wiggles you're sending out with the buzzing kazoo. Here we go. Let's talk a little more about what is happening to make the salt dance. So let's trace the path of the wiggle. We like to call this the chain of sound. The wiggle begins at your vocal cords. As you vibrate your vocal cords, the wiggle or vibration then transfers to the air in the tube. The wiggling air makes the membrane at the end of the kazoo wiggle. The air outside the kazoo now wiggles just like the end of the kazoo. Next, the sound wiggle arrives at the plastic wrap membrane over the bowl, which wiggles, and then we can see this transfer as the salt dances. The salt is wiggling or dancing with the same vibration as our vocal cords. Sounds can be transferred through a variety of mediums, and it can be fun to trace the path of the wiggle. Your eardrum receives sound wiggles or vibrations just like the plastic wrap. It is just a bit more difficult to actually see your eardrum. But the chain of sound is similar. The sound originates at your vocal cords, then vibrates the air in the kazoo, which then vibrates the paper at the end of the kazoo, which vibrates the air outside, which then hits our eardrum, which vibrates just like the plastic wrap. This is how our body detects the wiggles in the air. How cool are our eardrums? Try yours at home and try some different things and see what vibrates best for you. Also, try your favorite music. Put a speaker up close and you can watch the salt dance even more. Join us next time whenever we see something else fun dance in our next at-home sound experiment with Dr. Bob SoundSchool. Thanks for joining. This lesson about dancing salt and exploring the science of sound was provided by Dr. Bob SoundSchool and the Bob Moog Foundation.